Here are the names of just a few of the individuals who pretty much invented the modern world. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, and Larry Ellison.
Whoa, kind of seeing a pattern here. PragerPoo, what are you doing? Are you trying to tell us that these are just some kind of master face of some kind? I know what unites them all, everybody. It's gonna be that they never went to college. None of them did. In fact, they never went to college, and yet they've shaped the modern world in their image.
None of them has a college degree.
So this is called Does College Equal Success by PragerPoo. And again, it's the university that chooses the reals over the feels, statistics, data, analyses, no anecdotal evidence.
Maybe the dumbest thing you can do is go to the place that's supposed to make you smart. That would be college. Now, perhaps I'm biased. I don't have a college degree, although I employ a lot of people who do, and from some of the most prestigious universities in the country. I made a conscious choice. I had clear career ambitions, and I didn't see how a college degree was going to get me there. In retrospect, I'm confident I made the right decision. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of a company called The Daily Wire. We publish news and commentary from a conservative point of view. We have well over 100 employees and an audience which numbers in the millions every single day. Now, I don't have a problem if you go to college. It's a free country, do what you want. But the idea that somehow college is the great pathway to success and fulfillment, that I don't buy.
This is really weird because you have to think that this entire structure that we have nowadays, which in fact, yes, does reward you for going to college, and there's no question about that. You have better employment opportunities, you make more. I'll pull up the stats, the statistics, the data, the analysis right afterwards when we watch this, but they've rigged the system so that it basically does benefit the wealthy, those who are wealthy enough, the elites, to be able to park their children in colleges or universities. And yes, there's a lot of alternative ways to be able to pay for that kind of stuff, and you can pick yourself up from your bootstraps and clean up your room, and you can make it to college as well. But for the most part, it really helps and benefits you to have a wealthy family capable of affording that, capable of keeping you somewhere, feeding you, clothing you, and also keeps you out of the house all the way up until like your mid-20s. So
the left takes a different view. They are obsessed with higher education. To them, it's a human right, and they want it to be free, which just means paid for by people like me.
Thank you, John
for
Kerrison.
Anyone who's 18 and can breathe. That makes perfect sense from their point of view. One, the idea is a big winner among young people, a critical voting bloc. Who doesn't want something for nothing? Especially something that costs more than a Ferrari.
Right.
And two, colleges exist to do one thing: create conformity of thought. And since college professors and administrators overwhelmingly lean left, it's a pretty good bet most of their students will as well. But I'm being unfair, you say. After all, we live in a knowledge-based world, and America isn't making the grade. Don't you know we rank 13th in the world in reading, 18th in science literacy, and a pitiful 37th in math? To which I say, so what? It wasn't Singapore that split the atom, or Estonia that mapped the human genome. America is number one in Nobel Prizes awarded, number one in scientific citations issued, number one in popular entertainment, and number one in technological advancement.
We have, wow, this is Donald Trump, except it's for everything now. Like,
we have the best movies, the most amount of Nobel Prizes, so many prizes. Oh, prizes like you've never seen. No one has as large as prizes as us, right? It's where all the smartest people go. And of course, don't go to university.
In short, America creates almost everything. Even what other countries manufacture was probably invented by an American, which is why we're also the number one economy in the world by far.
So this is a really weird turn. I did not see this one. Usually we can kind of pick apart and see where PragerPoo is going to go with it. But the thesis here is that don't go to college because groupthink, because 1984 George Well from on high, and that's the reason why you don't do that. And at the same time, you don't go to college for the simple reason that we don't want you again to become indoctrinated into the left, because they're institutional conformity machines. They're conformity machines where everyone goes in one direction and they come out lefty on the other side. So don't go there, and you don't need to. That's the best part. You don't need to go because America has the best already. All right, we've had the most Nobel Prizes, the biggest scientists, the best movies, the most amount of technology companies. All of that is already happening. So just do your thing. Go do your thing, pretty much.
And who made this possible? Well, here are the names of just a few of the individuals who pretty much invented the modern world. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, and Larry Ellison.
Whoa, kind of seeing a pattern here. PragerPoo, what are you doing? Are you trying to tell us that these are just some kind of master face of some kind? I know what unites them all, everybody. It's gonna be that they never went to college. None of them did. In fact, they never went to college, and yet they've shaped the modern world in their image.
None of them has a college degree. Many of the CEOs who run the companies they created do have college degrees, but the founders do not. What they do have are things colleges can't teach you: curiosity, ambition, and a willingness to fail. Those qualities almost guarantee success. A college diploma doesn't. Want to build an airplane? Engineers educated in aerodynamics are handy to have on your team. Want to invent the airplane? Well, you're better off finding a couple of restless bicycle repairmen. That's what the Wright brothers were.
Is this basically saying that, like, we don't need any more STEM? Like, is the right's new narrative going to be like, you know what? The left for so long was trying to get diversity in the STEM program. They were trying to get more women interested in computer science and things of this nature. But no, our new messaging is just no one. We would prefer if no one becomes engineers. All right, we would prefer if just people invented more things. So use this to dream the future.
It's not that colleges aren't teaching. It's that too often they're teaching the wrong things, or they're teaching the right things the wrong way.
Oh.
Tech entrepreneur David Gelernter says, "The thing I don't look for in a developer is a degree in computer science." Quite a statement from a man who teaches computer science at Yale. Tech billionaire and co-founder of PayPal, Peter Thiel, actually pays people not to go to college.
How many people here were saying that a lot of this harkens to Peter Thiel's philosophy? And there you go. Now you got that. Oh, we'll get there, but thank you. But yes, what Beatmaster is pointing out is going to be the conclusion to this.
Thiel and Gelernter understand that colleges are factories. And like all factories, they want to produce a consistent product. That means producing people who all think alike. But innovation and entrepreneurship require people who think differently. Innovators innovate. Colleges teach those innovations after the fact. If professors could have taught engineers how to build the airplane in 1903, professors would have built the airplane before 1903. They would have invented the personal computer, Microsoft, and social media too. And it's not only big tech where this applies. 56% of all small business owners in the United States don't have a 4-year degree. That's right, the majority of small business owners who employ more than half of American workers either never went to or never finished college. What all of this says to me is that while college is useful for some people, it's by no means necessary for all. And it's hardly essential for economic success, not for the individual and not for the nation. No one is being deprived of the opportunity to succeed simply because they can't afford a university's steep price tag. In fact, if you go to college, there's a good chance you'll be taught how not to succeed. If I were you, I'd think long and hard before paying for that. I'm Jeremy Boring for Prager University.
He sure was. I went to college, by the way. I didn't. I'm a graduate in English literature. I have a Bachelor of Arts in English literature, and that's why I was able to pull off what I just did. That would have been possible without it. So, you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. So let's take a little trip away from this corner and just look at some things. CNN Business, the far left publication, says college grads earn about $30,000 a year, more than people with just a high school degree. Interesting. Why don't we take a look at Business Insider? That sounds communist. College grads still earn more than workers with no university degree. This map shows the states in which the widest salary gaps exist. Oh my, wow. Check out California, 133%. That's nuts. New York, 103%. Texas, 98%. That's the difference in median earning between college grads and non-college grads. College is more expensive than ever, leading many businesses, leaders, and experts to offer ways to get good jobs without earning a degree. Yet college graduates still earn more than non-college graduates in every state in the US, according to data from the 2017 American Consumer Survey. Interesting as well. Oh, more links. Forbes, college graduates are 177 times more likely to earn $4 million or more. USA Today, pay gap between college grads and everyone else is at a record right now. So there's no question whether or not you actually will earn more if you have a college or university degree than if you don't. Here's the bigger question, though, and one that we should be talking about. Why? Like, I understand you need specific training in order to do specific jobs. That's not my question here. I think you should have that specific training. I don't want doctors to operate on me or anyone who haven't been trained in how to do so. That would be kind of ridiculous. But why is society structured in a way in which only the very wealthy can attend colleges? Why should we make them accessible to everyone? It turns out the rest of the world doesn't really do that. That's actually almost uniquely a problem of very, very high, let's just say, capitalist structured societies such as America. But if you look at social democracies, if you look at Denmark, Sweden, Norway, it's not only free to go to university or college and to get that same training that every other citizen would have access to. They pay you. They pay you to go to college or university. You'll get a monthly stipend in order to study or attend those colleges and universities, because again, there's societies that do value education and they think that everyone should have access to it regardless of their income. So that to me seems a lot more egalitarian, something we can all get behind. The other problem that they're bringing up here is the fact that unfortunately colleges, universities will pump out lefties. They're little lefty factories, sweet, delicious lefty factories. And were that true, I think they're really, really pissed off at, say, sociology. The sociology programs, and probably a lot of gender studies, stuff of that nature. But that's probably what really pisses them off, because, again, the more exploration we do into these kind of topics, especially if we look at it from a historical standpoint, the more we'll realize things like, well, maybe there isn't such a thing as just two genders. Maybe the idea of gender is a social construct. Maybe if we combine that with, say, neuroscience and the studies on CAT scans that go in people's minds who happen to believe that they are not the gender they were born into, turns out that they have the same brainwave patterns as people who were biologically born into that both sex and gender. So based on that, we can assert very, very interesting developments, that it turns out that gender isn't a binary, that it's actually a spectrum, and that people could be combinations of all these things. And this is actually very beautiful, and it makes life way more diverse and interesting than this very narrowly focused world that we sometimes like to put ourselves into. But they might not like that, all right? Maybe that is some aspect they don't like. I'm guessing they still like economics, because if you go or talk to anyone who's graduated in the economics programs from any university or college, they're very right-wing conservative institutions. Just across the board. Talk to economics professors like Richard Wolff, for example, who will tell you he grew up thinking that there was only one way to view the economy, or get an MBA. If you happen to get an MBA, or you're in the MBA program, of which I know a lot of my friends who've gone through the MBA program, very, very conservative. Of course, because it's business administration. You have to be very capitalist.
To our monarch, Thomas Bone, you are the light that guides our path. To our lords, I'm Rav, Stephen, Nine Tails Cosmic Fox, and Hans Josephine. We bow meekly for your pleasure. To our knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byth, Alexander Thaler, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Clement Chutskop, Sky Bear Games, Moss Beast, Political Puppy, Alan R., Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, we salute you. And to all our merchants and farmers, you have our undying loyalty and love.